Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Wednesday, March 5th, 2025, and these are your Unbiased Updates. Proclaiming America is back, President Donald Trump delivers an address to Congress where he touted his crackdown on illegal immigration, imposing tariffs, and cutting government spending as Democrats waved signs and jeered. We have a recap plus reaction. And deadly storms, from tornadoes in the Deep South and Plains to blizzard conditions in the Midwest. A late winter barrage batters major parts of the country.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
In the longest joint address to Congress in history, President Donald Trump vowed to push forward with, quote, swift and unrelenting action to reshape American policy, from the economy to immigration to foreign policy. Straight Arrow News reporter Lauren Taylor has the highlights from Trump's speech.
President Trump delivered his first address to Congress in his second term Tuesday night, a chance for the president to outline his political agenda, discuss national issues, and set the tone for the year ahead. Trump leaned into social issues like banning transgender people from women's and girls' sports and ending diversity, equity, and inclusion in the military. The president touched on the election, calling it a mandate from the American people to pass his agenda, as well as tariffs, the border, cutting government fraud and waste, and lowering energy costs to help reduce inflation. Within minutes, Trump said the momentum, spirit, and confidence of America is back, and that the country is on the verge of a comeback. The Democratic side of the aisle objected, and Representative Al Green of Texas interrupted the proceedings. After several warnings, Speaker Johnson had the Sergeant of Arms remove him from the chamber.
Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Speaker Johnson told lawmakers they were to follow decorum, and there were no other major disruptions after Green's removal. Trump quickly moved on to speaking about the country's borders, touting February's border numbers.
Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
The president also said one of his highest priorities is lowering inflation and getting prices for working families under control. In order to accomplish this goal, Trump says lowering the cost of energy will be a primary concern of the administration. To do this, Trump said his administration will be opening power plants and drilling for oil.
As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
In Alaska, the president announced plans to open the natural gas pipeline project.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each.
Trump also mentioned the work of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, saying DOGE is helping to cut waste and fraud, which he says will ultimately end up back in Americans' pocketbooks.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
The president spoke about wanting to get back to balancing the federal budget, something that hasn't been accomplished since 2001. Trump also touched on tariffs. On Tuesday, tariffs for Canadian and Mexican goods went into effect.
We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
Trump called other countries' tariffs on U.S. products unfair, announcing that on April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs will kick in, saying whatever other countries tax us, we will tax them. Although it wasn't a State of the Union address, President Trump spoke for nearly 95 minutes. He touted swift action, saying this is just the beginning.
That was our Lauren Taylor reporting. While they might not be as overt as Congressman Al Green, Democrats last night found other ways to oppose President Trump's administration, with many Democratic women wearing bright pink in a show of defiance. New Mexico's Teresa Leger Fernandez, who leads the Democratic Women's Caucus, told Time magazine the color represents, quote, our protest of Trump's policies which are negatively impacting women and families, end quote. It was freshman Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan who delivered the Democratic response to President Trump's address. Slotkin highlighted Americans' dissatisfaction with the economy, saying President Trump's policies are not addressing the issues in the correct way.
Americans made it clear that prices are too high and that the government needs to be more responsive to their needs. America wants change, but there's a responsible way to make change and a reckless way. President Trump is trying to deliver an unprecedented giveaway to his billionaire friends. He's on the hunt to find trillions of dollars to pass along to the wealthiest in America. And to do that, he's going to make you pay in every part of your life. Grocery and home prices are going up, not down, and he hasn't laid out a credible plan to deal with either of those. His tariffs on allies like Canada will raise prices on energy, lumber, and cars, and start a trade war that will hurt manufacturing and farmers. Your premiums and prescriptions will cost more because the math on his proposals doesn't work without going after your health care.
When it came to immigration, Slotkin struck a more moderate tone, acknowledging Americans have told pollsters they're concerned about record illegal border crossings in recent years.
Every country deserves to know who and what is coming across its border, period. Democrats and Republicans should all be for that. But securing the border without actually fixing our broken immigration system is dealing with the symptom and not the disease.
She also touched on the controversial role of Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency.
Is there anyone in America who is comfortable with him and his gang of 20-year-olds using their own computer servers to poke through your tax returns, your health information, and your bank accounts? No oversight, no protections against cyber attack, no guardrails on what they do with your private data.
Slotkin ended the response by advocating for, quote, engaged citizens and principled leaders. Also in President Trump's congressional address, he voiced appreciation for Ukrainian President Zelensky, reportedly willing to sign a minerals deal with the United States and to come to the negotiating table under Trump's leadership to end the war with Russia. Donald Trump told Congress the Ukrainian leader made the declaration in a letter to him yesterday. Earlier in the day, Zelensky also posted on X, saying Ukraine is ready to sign the deal and enter peace talks with Russia. He also called the contentious Oval Office meeting with President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance that played out on national TV last week regrettable. The minerals deal was on hold since that tense exchange. As President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency continues its quest to cut government spending, the Pentagon is saying DOGE has found tens of millions of dollars being wasted in the Defense Department. Once again, here's Straight Arrow News reporter Lauren Taylor.
The Department of Defense reports the Department of Government Efficiency uncovered some $80 million in wasted funds. In a video message, Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell addressed the findings. He shared some of what he called highlights of those findings.
In the Air Force, $1.9 million for holistic DEI transformation and training, $6 million to the University of Montana to strengthen American democracy by bridging divides. At the Defense Human Resources Activity, $3.5 million for support to DEI groups. And how about this one? $1.6 million to the University of Florida to study social and institutional detriments of vulnerability and resilience to climate hazards in African Sahel.
Parnell went on to say these findings are not a core function of the military, and in fact, a distraction from their core mission. He also says to expect more cuts in the coming days. While in Germany in February, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told reporters he welcomed DOGE.
There are waste, redundancies, and headcounts in headquarters that need to be addressed. There's just no doubt. Look at a lot of the climate programs that have been pursued at the Defense Department. The Defense Department is not in the business of climate change, solving the global thermostat. We're in the business of deterring and winning wars.
On Sunday, Hegseth posted on X his department would be compliant with DOGE and the review process. That included mandatory reports from civilian workers explaining what they accomplished the previous work week.
That was Lauren Taylor reporting. This comes as the Trump administration has released a list of several hundred federal buildings it plans to close or sell, including the FBI headquarters and the Maine Department of Justice building, saying they're, quote, not core to government operations. It also comes as multiple news outlets are reporting the Trump administration is drafting plans to cut the Internal Revenue Service's workforce by half. Sources familiar with the matter say it will be done through a mix of layoffs, attrition, and incentivized buyouts. This is what it looked like after a reported tornado touched down in Irving, Texas, with winds of up to 110 miles an hour. It was part of a major winter storm system that rolled through sections of the United States Tuesday, bringing dust storms to the southwest and blizzard conditions to the Midwest. The governor of Mississippi confirming 2 deaths in the state. According to local reports, one person died from a falling power line, and a driver was killed when a tree fell on his car. The severe weather also caused officials in New Orleans to alter some Mardi Gras events on Fat Tuesday. The tracker FlightAware reports more than 500 flights were canceled nationwide as airports in Dallas shut down. Finally this morning, a story that is capturing hearts across the nation. Live camera footage from a bald eagle nest in Southern California has gone viral this week. The California nonprofit, the Friends of Big Bear Valley, is sharing 2 24/7 live streams of a bald eagle nest in the San Bernardino Mountains. The nest is the home of Jackie and Shadow, a pair of bald eagles that gained worldwide popularity back in 2023 when the camera showed the couple with 2 eggs. Those eggs failed to hatch, but now, 3 years later, Jackie and Shadow have 2 new babies to take care of, with a 3rd on the way. Wow. Evidence once again that nature is wonderful. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with you tomorrow. For Unbiased Updates, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.